Morning children. Today's date is 21st of July and the year is 2020 and today's day is Tuesday. So let's begin our numeracy class. In numeracy, today we are going to learn some new terms. Okay, and the terms are begin, last, and how many. So we'll see how to use these terms and what they mean. Okay, so let us first begin forward counting from numbers 1 to 5. Okay, so can we just say it together? So I have a few blocks in which I have written numbers. So can we just count forward? And we begin with number 1. Did you hear the term that I used? Begin. Begin means the starting number, the number we start with. Okay, so here I begin with number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so which number did I begin with? I began with number 1. Okay, so the number that I begin with is number 1. Okay, now coming to the next term. What is the meaning of the last number? Okay, so in this number, now just we counted the blocks. What was the last number that I counted? Let us count once again. I begin with 1, then go to the next 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. So which number did I stop at? Which was the last number? Yeah, the number that I stopped at is the last number. And here the last number is 5. Okay, so the number I begin with is the number I start with, is number 1. And here the last number is the number I stop at, is number 5. Okay, so how many blocks do I have? What is the answer for this? How many blocks do I have? So the answer is I have 5 blocks. Yes, so I counted and my last number was 5. So when somebody asks you how many, your last number will determine how many blocks you have. Yes, so here I have 5 blocks. Let's learn this concept of begin, last, and how many with a few more examples. Okay, so here I have pencil box with me. Yes, these are pencil box. Okay, so now which number should I begin with counting? I begin with number 1. So the number which I begin with is number 1. Here I begin with number 1, then going forward 2, 3, stop. So the number I stopped at is my last number. Yes, the number I start with is my beginning number, and the number I stop at is my last number. So let us count once again. So how many pencil boxes do I have? So I'm asking the question, how many? Yes, so my last number will be my answer. So I begin with 1, going forward 2, 3. So 3 is my last number. So now when I ask you how many pencil boxes do I have? So the answer is I have 3 pencil boxes. Yes, 1, 2, 3. So my last number is my answer to the question, how many? So here I have scissors with me. Okay, so let us count how many scissors I have. Okay, so my question is how many? So how do you count? So I begin with number 1. Yes, we always start counting with number 1. So number 1, going forward, 2. Stop. This is my last number. So here, number 2 is my last number. Okay. So when I ask the question, how many scissors do I have? So what's the answer? The answer is, I have 2 scissors. 1, 2. My last number is my answer to the question, how many? One last example. So I have few crayons here arranged on the carpet. So now I want to count how many crayons are there on the carpet. Okay, so I begin counting with number 1. I begin. Yeah, this is my number I start counting with. This is number 1. Going forward, 2, 3, 4. Stop. So which number did I stop at? Which was my last number? Yes, the number I stopped at is number 4. So my last number is 4. Okay, so how many pencils do I have? How many means total. How many I have kept here? How many do I have here? I have 4 pencils. So the last number is the answer to the question, how many? Yes, so the number I start with is the number I begin with. Yes, the term here is begin. And my last number is the number I stop at. Okay, so that becomes my last number. And when somebody asks the question, how many are there? So you have to count and tell me the last number. That is the answer. Okay, children? So I want you all to do this activity at home with your favorite objects. You can do it with your toys. Yes, you can do with pencils. Anything that you like of your choice. But I want you to learn the concept of begin, last, and how many. Okay, so after doing this activity, I am sure you will know what is the meaning of the words begin, the last number, and how many. Okay, children, happy learning.